Hi, Karine.
Hi. It's always a pleasure to be here with you. Some quick difficulty with connection, but I hope it's gonna last through the whole interview.
Yes, perfect. It's we're always in this authenticity moment after moment, like always unknown and always ready to respond to life, right?
Yeah. So
All right.
So yeah, we've talked about a bit of your past, what brought you on this path, and a bit, about yourself in the past. We often talk about how this path is really a journey. It's not a magic pill that you take in the morning and then, yeah, I'm now authentic. So I was curious to know how this unfolded for you, like this whole journey, and how, throughout the years, authenticity was present. Like, how did it manifest itself? It's always evolving. So can you share a bit about that?
Mm-hmm. Well, the first thing that comes right now is that it's always been a calling in my heart from very, very young. I could not handle when things were not true around me. My body would react very, very strongly. And there was a radar, a compass inside that was telling me this is true, this is not. And when something inside of me was telling me something and what I was seeing outside was not coherent, well, my body would tell me. So I became very sensitive. At first, I disconnected from this. That's the honest truth, because it was too painful to realize that there was this split between something that I was feeling deep down inside and also the reality that I was perceiving, especially when it was coming from people who were close to me, like family, for example, and people that I trusted, or people who were my caretakers or guidance. And I was like, why are they saying this when they actually mean this? So it created that confusion inside of me, and it made me doubt. It made me doubt that gift per se of tapping into truth, right? Of into what is true every moment. But and over the years this got covered, and this leads me to the subject of now, because at one point I realized, oh my gosh, actually I'm not crazy. Actually what I was feeling inside, not true. Actually what I was feeling inside was, there was truth in it. I was sensitive and I could perceive a lot from the invisible world, and what people, the intention of people behind their words, and what they actually meant. Even if some words were coming out, what was the real message behind the words? What was the real intention? Because my body would tell me. So when I started discovering this, and it took me 29 years to realize that this was a tool and it was not some kind of weird thing that I had inside of me, or that I was crazy. And when I started discovering this, it took me again years to develop and to anchor into that sensitivity and into, okay, authenticity. It's a moment by moment thing, and trust this intuition, trust that voice inside that tells you, okay, this is true, this is not true. And when it's not true, to dare to name it, to dare to challenge, to dare to bring this into relationships. Because for me, it's very important to have this transparency and honesty and authenticity in relationships, to build on pure ground, to build on true ground, so that whatever is born out of this ground and creation, co-creation, align with something that is true, that is based on love, that is based on, I'm going to say on service, but service is not necessarily the way mind interprets service. Service is a frequency, meaning that when we really rest in our authentic selves, we become service, because service is equal to love. Something inside of us circulates moment after moment, and this is a service for our planet, because it has a ripple effect of frequency. And I'm not so sure I answered the question properly, but this is really what came out at this point. But re-ask the question.
No, but you've said so many great things. One thing that caught me was I think that the first at first we kind of doubt ourselves, like that trigger of doubt for me also has been very present, and I find it super interesting that our first reflex is to doubt ourselves, to say, oh, it must be me that that that's not correct. But then as you dig deeper, I find that you kind of learn how to listen to that voice. Has that also been your experience? Like the how can I say it, that at one point you just know, like on the journey, at one point it's clear that you're right.
Yes, yes, and there's, yes, it's a beautiful journey. I love this sensitivity. Yes, thanks for asking the question. It takes time. It takes time, and doubt still comes. That's why I was laughing.
Yeah.
Doubt still comes because, again, I was saying this in some of the lives or in the interviews, that the more we say yes, the more the path opens to us, the bigger the challenges are. So every step of the way and every big stretch, let's put it like this, big transformation brings doubt. Well, doubt, there's a frequency of leftover of, it's kind of a matrix. It's kind of a paradigm of doubt. It's the same paradigm of as scarcity and lack and all of this, But when we step out of this doubt, there's a lot of unknown. So it's sometimes for the mind, it's preferable to choose doubt because somehow it feels stable. But then, okay, I really don't know, right? Be in this spaciousness of not knowing. But all of this to say that it takes time. And the way I did it was really to test it out. When I started realizing that I was not crazy per se, right? I was like, okay, let me try it. I'm going to feel something. And then I'm going to ask that person, is this what went through her mind? Or, for example, I was sometimes being waken up in the middle of the night with, at one point I remember, like it was 3 o'clock in the morning and I had a huge chest pain. And there's a name that came to me. And then I was like, oh my gosh, there's something happening in her energy field. And I text that person right away in the middle of the night. I was like, listen, I'm not spying, like I don't want to be spooky. But is there something happening like at the level of your chest? Is there something? And that person confirmed that something was happening at that moment. So, it was trial and error. I really loved exploring this tool. And it's with its intuition also that I guide people, that we can feel what's happening in people's bodies, that we can also feel where people can be stuck sometimes in thoughts or loops of mind that are not serving them. So it's a tool to be sensitive. And the doubt itself, it's a choice. So when we realize that doubt is actually a matrix, that it's not really real, we can see it as a web, okay, that is created to protect us. It's like fear, but it's a web that we choose, right? Okay, so when we take that step back and we're like, okay, here's doubt. Doubt is coming into my body right now. We know right away that actually life is asking us to step up. There's a frequency, there's something asking in us to, hey, you're being called to bigger. You're bigger being more potential, bigger being more appearing for service, right? Not bigger like, like in the sense of, exactly, not in that sense, right? So, over and over we get to learn that it's all about this. Same thing with fear, same thing with insecurity, same thing with all of this. We realize, or scarcity and lack, when we start dreaming big, for example, and stepping up and stepping into our power and into our potential, even material life starts manifesting differently, obviously, and we have to make choices that are bigger, even in even investing bigger, right? So all of this creates a shakiness inside, and every step of the way of this acquiring this next delta of potential will always trigger those old matrices.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, we're always purifying, we're always clearing their shit out.
No need for that. It's really
Yeah, I'm doing this because, you know, I want to respect also people who are watching, right? But I'm very comfortable with it. Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
One thing that caught me when you were talking, you talked about investment. And I feel that's also a sensitive subject when you enter on such a journey, because it's not also, you know, we can invest ourselves. I think there has to be an investment, like from yourself, but also, you know, in everything else, you know, money, time, energy. Can you talk about that a bit?
Yeah, sure. The word that comes right now is commitment. Are you committed or not? And that is like just saying that word, my whole chest opens, my heart opens, because we can dream or we actually in the game. And when you're in the game and life force is pushing, then it will ask from you. And not, this sounds bad, but it's not bad. It asks from you for you to follow that calling, for you to be of service. And this, yes, it's a commitment of money. It's a commitment of energy. It's a commitment of time. It asks us to let go of stuff that are not of service. It asks us to really have a good look at our lives and see what habits are not serving, what patterns of thoughts, what emotions are we addicted to that we have to let go also, what relationships are unhealthy that we need to either clarify, accept, or change or leave. And this is where people find it hard. That's why I always say it's a choice of path. It's a choice of path. And I think it's on the first live that we said this, but the price to pay of staying in the statu quo and not following this life force is way more than having to pay $6,000 for a program, for example, or $10,000 or $20,000 for a mentor, you know, like, or whatever the amount is. And I know that this can be stretchy for people, and I've gone through those steps of having to invest also, and it stretched me. It stretched me, but I will always remember the lessons learned, that money is energy, and that when you start investing, let's say with materiality, you also unlock the equivalent of energy in your body. I'll always remember that moment when I invested a very, 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 very high ticket for a year mentorship. And I was freaking out for about a week. And it was a detox. My body was shaking. I was like, what are you doing? It's crazy, whatever the mind was saying. And then the beauty is, because we're doing this work, I right away tapped inside my body when I realized that there were thoughts making me freeze, right? And I went, and inside my vertebrae, lower part of the back, there was clogged energy, and it was screaming at that level. I'm like, oh, here you are. Here's a matrix. Here's where it's ingrained, and it kind of crystallized in my body. So I applied the process that we teach here. I stayed with presence and care and compassion, created space in that area. The energy had more space to start circulating. It went through inflammation, where it screamed very, very loud. And then at one point, it started dissolving. And what was left was more potency. It was more drive. It was more clarity. And then life asked me to step up, create this, open that program, get surrounded by those people. And then I had to do the let go process. And that's why I'm showing up now in this series too. Like I named being visible was a big challenge, but with this unleash, it pushed me into this, and I created this series, for example.
Yeah.
And it's creative power. Potential is creative power. So all this energy, it's not to go and waste in some entertainment after, it's actually to create and to bring to the world. I hope it makes sense.
And I think most of the time we're afraid of our own power. So that's why we resist so much, because we kind of know what we're capable of, but it's not definite. So at one point we're just like, no, I can't do that. But then when the more you do it, the more it's easy, I guess. Well, not always easy, but I don't know.
It's like we said last time, it's the love. You gotta love the game.
Yeah.
You gotta love the game. And yes, we are scared of our power because that's why the path exists per se. You know, we were kids and we had all this potential in the womb of our mothers, and all this battery pulsating life in the womb of our moms, and we came out pure but already in the body form, right? And then this potential was either going to be expressed and start creating or start being repressed. And most of us go through this repression, and like, just because we are in boxes of mind, and we get scared of being in that potential because that means that we might lose the love of the people around us because they have not transcended those limitations, so it will challenge them, right? And this is not to blame, this is just how it works, right? So it's the whole path is to peel off those layers of what's not true, to go back to that essence of who we are for real, and reclaim that, which we call our power, anchor this in the body, in our home, and say, okay, I'm here for a reason. This body is designed for something, and people will not like it. And some people will, some people will not. People will be challenged. And that's when we start reevaluating validation. Do we really need validation from the outside when we are anchored in our value, in our worth, in our power? When we really anchor in that depth of the womb and the pelvic floor's breath, we realize that all of those thoughts, they dissolve. Because we get propelled by a life force that includes everything. Validation isn't, you are validated. There's no such thing as being validated from the outside when you have access to who you are like this. Like, you see the illusion of it when we access, and you see the illusion of it. But I know it's very real when we are in those thoughts. It's very suffering. It's really a freeze. So that's why we create containers, safe containers, for us to liberate all of those change that keep you stuck and keep the energy stuck. And eventually this energy stuck creates diseases or addictions or really unhealthy habits and patterns or relationships or choices of life. That's the thing. But we are here to align everything and to make everything authentic, more true for more life force.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, we could talk about that for hours. I feel that. Yeah, there's so many things. Yeah, it is. And it's really, like, for me, because I've also been on this journey for many years now, it's always discovering new things. Like we talked about, curiosity and love just for the game is essential, I feel, also to advance on the journey. If you don't have that curiosity to dive deep and just want to learn, then it's harder, I feel.
And maybe it's just not, I believe that everybody who's listening have a call to go deeper. I don't believe they would be on such a platform if they were not called. And some people want this type of path. Some people really, like, they don't even, it doesn't even cross their minds. It's not part of their design. But if people were attracted to the summit we just created, or were attracted to this platform that holds specific codes, right? It's not just a Facebook platform. It holds a specific matrix designed to bring humans into this authenticity. So if they are attracted, even if whoever's listening is attracted to this, they're attracted to the essence of the work. They're attracted to the essence of the work and what it comes and ignites in them, because it awakens something in them. Even if at the beginning they don't really know. They're like, oh, what is it about that thing? You know, like, I understand, but I don't really, but something inside of me says I'm at the right place. And this is the voice to trust. This is how I was choosing sometimes those big leaps. And I was like, what am I doing? I'm really going there. I was like, I don't know why I'm going there, but I know it's right for me. And then the more I was walking and walking, the more it was revealed, because the essence of wherever I was walking towards was actually me. I was being attracted and pulled in because I was reclaiming a part of me. And that's what attraction is. So if you're listening and there's a vibration that resonates, even if the words are not understandable, or if there's something you don't understand, that doesn't matter. Connect to the essence of what's being shared. Feel inside your body. Is there a resonance? Do you feel something circulating in your body as you are receiving the conversation? And if it's a yes, then it's you. Then it's you. There's no question.
You're at the right place. You've already started, because being here is maybe the first step or the second step, but it's true. Like sometimes we don't really understand from the mind why we're attracted, but as you said, the calling is real. If you're called to that, for sure you're at least beginning to be on the right path. So yeah, welcome to everybody that's here.
Welcome, totally. And to know also that it's answering a prayer. It's answering an intention, a deep intention that you've carried in your heart for a long time. Maybe it's not even conscious, but it's an intention. It's a prayer. And we just stand in those places because there's a calling. Yeah. And yeah, I wanted to name also, yes, you were going to say, I wanted to name what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah, well, that I was getting to the end of our conversation, but yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to name that tomorrow we have a free masterclass happening at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be live via Zoom. If this resonates with you, just come along. It's going to be an hour and a half of bathing in the codes of what we bring here, awakening the authentic woman you are. And we're going to go through the steps of this system of transformation. And yes, we're really going to go into embodying your fierce and authentic path, and having you being infused more with what we bring here, the paradigm. So this is the first step. It's a free masterclass. I'll be putting the link just underneath. And stay tuned. Also, there's going to be a 2-day retreat next week happening on Thursday and Friday. So this is also going to be posted in the Facebook group or by email if you're on the email list. So, and if you're not on the email list, just put your email underneath the video, and we'll also add you to make sure you have all the details you need.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be super interesting as usual, and very deep in learnings and discovering ourselves.
Yes, yes, we love that work. We truly do.
We do.
We do. Thank you so much, Karine, once again, for showing up.
Thank you.
All right, much love. Much love to you. Much love to all of you, and we'll see you soon on the live broadcast. All right. Cheers, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.